Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the Away Day Show. The casuals on the couch are back again.
Only one.
Yeah, we're one.
You don't really count as a casual.
I choose
the middleman.
When I want to, I can be a casual on the couch.
You're just a bit of a fake. Just like, pretending
Half,
you're one of us, mate.
Yeah. Well, you talk about we're out Tots this week, who we might miss maybe 2 out of the next 3 weeks, but then he'll be back again. But
busy man.
He's doing too much tax stuff, so.
Tax fraud. He's working for City, mate.
Yeah, he's City's new
working FFP.
Yeah. So he'll come back with some good info in regards to FFP when he comes back. No, we're without him for the next few weeks, but he'll be back soon enough.
That's right. He just waffles anyway. So
yeah, and we're going to be battling. We need some waffle today. We're going to be battling with a lack of happenings in Premier League English football. But I'll start us off with, I guess, what we learned, but we'll lead on to something a bit later on from the weekend. But I guess in terms of Liverpool, that's, I guess, everyone's talking point at the moment. Yep. But I guess for me, it looks like they're going to win at least something this season, right? Especially considering the circumstances around Klopp's departure and stuff like that. But they bossed the FA Cup on the weekend. They're in the Europa League, still in a Premier League title race, Carabao Cup final. So I feel like from what I learned since last week, they're going to win at least 1 or 2 trophies this season. Like Carabao Cup final.
They're going to feel destined to see Klopp out, eh?
Yeah, like Sir Alex's one, like see him off with the Premier League, maybe see him off with a double. Because like Carabao Cup final.
That's right. You did a little video obviously talking about Klopp, right? But yeah, just like in general, I mean,
just
do you reckon it caught the football world off guard?
100%.
You know, like I saw Roy Keane was like, oh, it doesn't surprise me. Like
he's waffling.
I think that had to have surprised everyone, right? Like
you can't tell me the guy that's top of the league and the guy that shows so much energy is running out of energy and it's going to lead.
The reasoning makes like 100% makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
And if anything, it shows like his sort of like selflessness to realize like how much the energy for him is an important part of like his managerial sort of style, right? And that he knows like even if that's off by like a fraction,
it's going to affect.
He's not the guy to lead this club forward. And I guess young squad, you know, it probably feels like the time if you're going to part way from Klopp. At least it's not like a 30-year-old. Like the squad is already there for a new manager to come in and kick on with it, right?
Yeah.
And obviously they're performing as well, so it's not like it's
not a bad
expectation will be whoever comes in, whether it be Xabi Alonso or someone else, like you're going to struggle to match the feats of Klopp, right? And match the expectation that comes with that, and meet the expectation. But yeah, right. No, it seems like fairly gracious from him in a sense. But also, I also wonder if it's tactical to he wants to part out. Let's
come on, the
boys.
Of a
managerial kick.
Yeah, it feels like that. It's the equivalent of a new manager bounce, right? Because you're playing for him.
It's going to be so emotional, though. I wonder if it's going to get the better of him.
That's the thing. Better him and the player as well. You saw even on the weekend, like the FA Cup Twitter was running it in Instagram, all that stuff. Him like crying during like the Never Walk Alone stuff. It's going to be like that every single game. Apparently he was like tearing up during the. So like that's the thing. Is it going to be too much emotion?
Everything's going to be the last. It's going to be the last against the last game at home.
This is
the last away game. Yeah. The last month.
Him versus Pep for the last time, or him versus United.
Exactly. There's going to be so many. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if that's going to be a factor.
Yeah.
Over this next few months, but look, he's a top 5 Premier League manager, undisputedly, probably of all time. Like, despite the fact he's only won one Prem, right? I mean, he could go on and win 2. Like, who knows?
Yeah, this could.
But Klopp's obviously everyone knows he's got the crazy aura.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw a question like, would you rather be managed by Pep or Klopp? And like, that's almost a credit to Klopp
to be in that.
Like, discussion. As in, despite Pep winning so many more trophies than Klopp, right? Like, Pep will probably go down as the most decorated manager of all time. The fact that Klopp might outshine Pep in that debate,
it's ridiculous.
Just as a credit to like his sort of aura.
Yeah.
And like the privilege it feels like to play under someone who's so passionate, and not say Pep isn't, but he's so vividly passionate. You see it. I mean, the Liverpool fans I've spoken to in the last few days have literally said it's like losing a brother. Yeah. I'm not even saying it's
tears,
like losing it. That's what I've seen online and from the guys I've spoken to, a couple of work and stuff. It's like, it feels like I lost my brother.
Yeah, it feels like a death. It feels like a death. Or like these like montages of him. Like,
well, you thought he was sick.
I'm
not
off it yet.
Yeah.
It is sounding more and more ridiculous the more the days go on. But like he says, like energy and I can't go on. I was like reacting to the interview.
How old is he?
But he's not that old.
Is he 60?
60. Like he's
is he 60?
peak of his career. No, but in terms of managers though.
Yeah, no,
like, that's like a peak of like 60-year-old. Like that's the only thing. But I get it. Every game you see him like run up to the all that sort of stuff. So maybe that's the whole package, right? But I just can't see him being away from management like that.
He reckons he's retiring, doesn't he?
He said nothing will bring him. Surely Germany or something.
It would
like
definitely
that.
never come back to England, 100%.
Well, he said that he's other than maybe to save Liverpool if all hell.
No way. He won't come back. He won't come back.
I've got like a few to toss on you here to discuss. One, I guess the first one being who do you reckon should take over? Two being, is this going to be a similar thing to Sir Alex Ferguson, the fact that it could see the downhill of the club and players leaving? And I guess in three, was it the right time, you reckon, to go ahead and do it?
It's a really good question.
It's a lot of questions, but yeah.
I think before I touch on who I think will take over, will it be the same as Sir? I don't know. I probably don't know enough about Liverpool's makeup in terms of like Klopp's reign within the club.
Yeah, the impact here.
Like, I don't know if he controls, all the transfers and like compared. Sir Alex felt like he was United, right?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Klopp obviously feels like he's Liverpool, but like, are you losing a little bit less in Klopp than Sir Alex, for example? Yeah. I'm not entirely sure. I don't see it being as big a bad. Yeah. Okay. And obviously that comes with it being less time. But I also just feel like because Klopp is sort of going out on his own will a little bit earlier than probably Sir Alex, maybe. It I think it might make the transition a little bit easier.
Yeah.
It could go the other way, because Klopp, maybe Klopp's overperforming with the squad. I don't know, but the squad is in great shape
right now. Yeah, it's killing it.
As I said, young, ready to kick on to the next level. And as long as you get the right manager in, which I feel like will probably be Xabi Alonso, it feels like the stars are aligning for that,
Yeah.
And obviously he's doing a job at Bayer Leverkusen, like more than a job,
Killing
obviously top of the league.
Yeah.
From what you know about, obviously you talk about a bit more about international, the other top leagues. Do you reckon his play style is suited to? Because he plays three at the back, doesn't he?
That's the thing. So we talk about, actually every football podcast talks about Trent and where Trent plays.
Yeah.
And you're big on it as well, how Andy Robertson has to bomb on his best. If you stick with Kwanzaa at centre back, you get Kwanzaa, Gomez or Kanate and Van Dijk, you're letting Trent and Andy Robertson basically be wingers.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, because
most Trent and Frimpong aren't the same, I don't think.
Well, this is where I think Trent's better on the ball than Frimpong would be, right? But then I think you sort of even out, because Grimaldo for me right now is probably the best left back in world football in terms of his delivery is ridiculous. So Andy Robertson, obviously he's great, but he ain't Grimaldo on the ball. Yeah. That's the thing. So it'd be interesting actually if one of them actually come with Xabi Alonso if he comes across. But you get the same sort of mould there. It's just a midfield where it's a bit of problematic because he could play a 2 or he could play a 3 and go 2 up front. So it's interesting. So you could play McAllister and Szoboszlai as currently organised, or do you go out and just splash the cash on like a proper holding midfield? Do you get Palhinha next season alongside McAllister and play like a 2 in there? But the problem is, and this is why I think I like the formation change, Mo Salah looks basically 1 foot out the door, and especially now with that Klopp's leaving, that's why I sort of asked
it feels like
that question, right? Do you reckon more will follow away? If Klopp, if Salah goes, maybe you go to a 2 up front with Nunez and Jota, or maybe you find another right winger. But at least with Trent being really high and really wide, that sort of somewhat takes away from the loss of Salah. So in that way, I'd like that system. But again, is it going to work in the Premier League where teams play low blocks and they can exploit on the counter-attack? Yeah. That's where we should have to wait and see. I was just
going to say, on the Xabi Alonso thing, we saw at Leverkusen, he went in and after the first season sort of had a bit of a clear out, right? They shipped a lot of players. They brought a lot of new players in. And because Liverpool have just invested so much money, and what we've seen from them historically, I know the last few years kind of contradicts that, but I don't necessarily think they're primed for a changeover.
Yeah.
So it feels like he's going to have to make work with what he has, and maybe have a few minor changes here. But he can't have the first team flip like he did at Leverkusen. It has to be, you can make a few adjustments here and there, but for the most part, this is your squad, right?
Yeah.
So look, I think Xabi Alonso will probably take over. I just think he's primed.
Yeah.
To take over. I mean, I don't know if Xavi's gonna. I don't know what's up with him.
I think he's just sick of.
But there's suddenly a lot of managers on the board.
Yeah,
right.
It's a lot of moving pieces now.
It sounds like Mikel might be leaving, going to Barca.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. He's never leaving.
But
But yeah, sorry, to answer your final question about the right time, it feels early to me.
It does.
But I also think, like, you know, Klopp's always been this super honest, like, relatable with the fans guy. And if this is what he's thinking, then, like, you know, it's almost like it would be like not himself, you know, being Klopp, like, to who he is, feels like it's gotten him so far in his Liverpool career, right? You know, being really passionate on the sidelines and, you know, having that sort of aura, right? It would kind of go against everything he's done the last 10 years if he kind of held it in, I guess.
Yeah.
So in a sense, to the way he's managed his whole career, it probably feels right. But in terms of, like, the scheme of the season, it probably feels a little bit early, just like that it might get too emotional, right?
How many lasts are we going to get? Like, how many?
Exactly. Like, you know, every game, like it or not, is going to be a headline about Klopp and, like, you know, his record at this ground, right?
Yeah.
You know, he leaves Anfield with the best home and away record or something, and, you know, like, he leaves, you know, he has this, and, you know, the last one against Pep, as you said, and look, there's going to be so many milestones along the way now, up until when he's done. But maybe at the same time, hopefully, it takes a bit of pressure off the pitch, for example. Maybe it does
the other way around, right? Yeah.
So, look, it makes the dynamic of the end of the season, like, very, very interesting. You know, if it wasn't already good enough,
I say we get more.
It feels like it's just going to make the Liverpool team even better, because it already feels like they're going to run through bloody brick walls for Klopp, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, all it does is elevate maybe their commitment to the team.
To go on,
hopefully Salah's fit, eh? I don't know. I haven't seen any updates on that, but it would be...
He's going to miss a bit.
Yeah, like...
You know what it might be? See, I was saying this maybe I was saying to you guys and Nathan as well. I would just rest... like, even they've got you, haven't they? They've got you coming up on the weekend, because he's back, but he definitely won't be...
You'd rather him for the stretch of
games.
I'd
rest him all the way to the Carabao Cup final, almost rest him for that and make that a big game, because that, in a way, is the first chance to get a big trophy, because this is me, hypothetical brain. You lose that to Chelsea out of all the teams, and then it's all a bit of like, oh, we really need to win something else. And then you you go down 3-1 in the first leg of Europa, and everything's all falling apart, right? Because as much as I hope that Liverpool can go and win the league, because I'm sick of City. We know City are going to come, and like Todd's probably rightly said, they are not going to drop them points. It looks
as primed as City could have been over the last 5 years.
The only chance I can see them dropping points is to Liverpool, and that's if Liverpool can go and get it done at home. So that's the thing. If you don't win this first trophy, then it starts getting a bit worrying. So I just save Salah. I just say, Salah, this is your game. Come back. It's like a month. Yeah, a month of the day away, I think, for the AFL Cup final. So save him for that. Yeah. Just get through the next few. They're doing it. Jota's playing like a man possessed at the moment. So keep him for that. So just keep winning games. Keep knocking them off. Even if you get a draw against you guys, I think they'd take that. They're still, a game clear than of City. I think they draw it.
The last thing I'd say on that is that it's probably the one time where, like, the dynamic of trophies versus, like, top four and stuff changes. Because
you have to.
It's not like, you know, start of the season, you'd be like, okay, top 2, 0, like, you know, finishing second, no trophies would be like a great result,
still
right?
Big tick, yeah.
But now it's like, that's usually the case because the manager can kick on the following year, maybe win the Champions League, maybe win the league, right? You know, there's more to come. Whereas now it's like, okay,
this is it.
We don't really care about position. We just want, you know, Klopp will want to add to his sort of resume. And obviously the Prem will be priority. But if it's second place versus, like, FA Cup trophy, I genuinely think
trophies will be the ones.
Trophy 100%. You know, I think all the fans would say that.
Yeah, they would want that.
Like, and I think Klopp himself would 100% say that. I think trophies at this point is the priority, 100%.
I can really see like a poor man's treble, like in terms of like Carabao, FA, and Europa League. I genuinely could see that happen. Like, obviously that is the most discredit to it. It's still a great treble because
poor man's treble.
But it's literally a poor man's treble in the fact that because Europa League,
no Prem, no
other than for Leverkusen, which would be hilarious if you got Alonso and Klopp final.
Xabi drops him off and then takes his his job.
It could be happy that way, but that other than for Leverkusen and obviously City in the FA Cup, that's the only thing stopping them from doing that.
Did they cook in Europa? I don't know what their record was. Leverkusen.
Leverkusen haven't lost at anything.
Yeah,
They're still unbeaten in all competitions. Are they? Yeah. They're the only team in German and in our football like history to go like 38 or 39
That's
games.
how much they're cooking.
They haven't lost a game.
Oh my God.
But it's starting to sort of say during the weekend 0-0.
Starting to drop off that once again.
Yeah.
No,
but in terms of how, because of Bayern's only lost one game, they're like, it's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But that's what I mean. That's the only thing I can see stopping them from doing this poor man's treble. But then you hope maybe United get a City and somehow knock them off like in a penalty shootout, something like that. And if that goes your way and you avoid City and you avoid Leverkusen to a final,
Yeah, because
what's stopping them?
City are the one with the squad depth to be able to. We know this obviously.
Yeah.
To be able to challenge in every trophy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's gonna be some good games. It's like
this season's turning out to be like.
Yeah.
In terms of like, we were saying this actually on
and when we battle them this weekend, like it's
that's more to the
three-horse race. It's gonna be so good.
That's what me and Nathan were saying on the midweek one. We're like, what a year to start a podcast in terms of there's so much leagues to talk about. Got every league's there's battles for title.
Finally, oh my god, it was so dry for couple of weeks there.
Oh yeah,
and now it's just kicked into gear.
We're back. Premier League to be back.
Double game week, like finals are starting to roll out. Klopp's like, I mean, that's insane. Klopp is,
and now, obviously I touched heaps more on the midweek show, but is Xavi moving now? Obviously, I saw the rumor about Arteta. I don't know if it was real or not, but maybe if you've seen it as well, it's not out of the possibility.
It's like not too dissimilar to like Xabi Alonso going to Liverpool. Obviously, it's not identical, but like it's his boyhood club. He's Spanish, and like it or not, it is a bigger job than Arsenal.
Yeah.
But like it or not.
But do you want to go and deal? Because what Xavi basically said, it's just like you get painted as the worst manager in the world to be at Barca.
As much as I love Arteta.
I don't think he's ready for Barca.
But has he exactly earned Barca? Like, has he earned Xavi getting sacked? Or,
not going to replace
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's a big
deal. I often
talk
about Arteta like he's won all this stuff. Like, he's won an FA Cup. Like, and it's not exact. Look, from an unbiased perspective, we've suddenly dropped out of this. Like being, it felt like we were favourites at one point there.
Yeah,
and now we've suddenly not got. We're like odds are saying we're $7 or $8, right?
Where you were. What you started the season? What was it being
like $2.40?
Yeah, we short favourites.
Ridiculous. Well, no, I started the season with like $5.
Okay,
but then it really drew in really quick. We became like joint favourites super quick because City obviously dropped a few games.
Big time. Yeah,
but now it's like we're suddenly going back to the underdogs and Barca don't, Barca don't go for underdog managers.
You don't operate as an underdog.
I mean, it feels crazy they're getting rid of Xavi, but that's more of your midweek stuff. But yeah, no, the whole, the manager market got a little bit stale there for a little bit.
It's been a bit dead.
Zidane retired. All these guys retired. Like Ancelotti was getting on. Mourinho dropped off a little bit. Like, even Conte fell off.
Yeah.
And it was just Pep. Pep
Pep
versus the rest.
Yeah.
And now suddenly, you've got these young managers. Some of them who are finally kicking on because obviously Gerrard didn't work out, Lampard didn't work out. All the England guys.
We talked about these guys who stunk up the gap. Absolutely.
But now there's something going on there, and the whole sort of scheme, grand scheme of like the top 5 league European football is getting
it's getting good again.
It's fine. It feels it's getting good again.
Yeah. Yeah, you got Pep versus the fake Peps
Pep versus his bloody entourage.
Literally feels like that. No, you also touch on it while we're at it because the manager market's basically saved January's market. Yeah. And obviously January hasn't been massive, right? It's not the biggest thing, but over the last few years, I think like Alexis Sanchez and that whole trade with Mkhitaryan and that stuff, and
that worked out good.
Yeah, both clubs love that side.
It's actually that is. I can't think of a bigger lose-lose in the last 5.
You just traded wages, basically. You put your one because Sanchez had screwed up. You won less wages.
Because Mkhitaryan actually played. We won at what cost, mate? It was one of them. We won at what cost?
Rather just get nothing back, it would have just.
I mean, at least Mkhitaryan scored a nuts goal for us. Yeah. He scored that bloody. He scored a few good goals.
Well, he scored a scorpion for us, and then he scored,
and then Olivier Giroud, and then he scored a similar one for us.
Yeah, he scored some belter. Yeah.
But
bro pulled out goal of the years in the space of a year, and then just dipped. Literally back to
5-star, mate. That's about it.
Crazy. But no, January has been very quiet this year. That's basically what I was getting at because you've got loan moves for Maatsen and Sancho to Dortmund, which I guess are big in global news, but in terms of Premier League stuff.
Yeah, Sancho's the biggest thing.
That's probably the biggest. And even then, everyone sort of knew he was going to be good at Dortmund. And everyone just accepted that.
He sort of went AFK 6 months ago anyway.
Yeah.
It was Sancho's already gone.
We knew he was leaving. Yeah. And everyone, despite him not playing, everyone knew he was going to be good at Dortmund. I feel like you'd be a fool not to think he'd just hit the ground running just the way he is. But then, Calvin Phillips signs for West Ham. That's probably saving the window. But outside of that, really, there's not much that's happened. Loan deals for Timo. But again, it seems like just a stopgap.
Even Calvin Phillips to West Ham. I don't know if he walks into that midfield.
Right now, probably not.
That's what I mean.
Because Alvarez is back this week.
We'll touch on it later with the bloody
combined teams.
Bournemouth, West Ham team.
It's a deep midfield now. That midfield's nuts.
What?
Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Souček, Paqueta, Kudus.
You said Souček.
That's 6.
Pablo Fornals played in the weekend.
Fornals, It's no certainty to
And
walk
if
in
Calvin
there.
Phillips is going to play like that DM centre mid role, he's got to get in over Souček and Alvarez, which is like...
And you aren't playing... Or maybe you could play Alvarez and Phillips, but it feels so negative.
I don't think... Oh, my God.
Alvarez and Phillips as a duo, that's very negative.
Oh, like...
Because Phillips ain't... As much as he was high energy at Leeds, he never really got up on the edge of the area.
He never had the forward game. It was always like he was such a solid,
just
like breaking down player. Yeah, right.
Like,
you know,
imagine having two of them. Like,
yeah,
I know West Ham are counter attack in Inshallah, but like that's really going really counter attack if you're just sitting like that.
And then you play what him? You play Alvarez, Phillips,
and then play Kudus.
And then like Kudus
at a 10, and then Paquette has to get forced out to the left again.
So Ward-Prowse is suddenly just not playing.
Even though he's one of the most consistent players.
And then Souček,
who's the heart and soul.
Who's actually coming good now.
Yeah.
He's picked up from like the poor season last year.
Yeah.
So
it's just been I
understand the move for Calvin Phillips for any team, right? You know, it's just like increased midfield depth.
Yep.
He'll elevate
Premier League player.
Good Calvin Phillips will elevate every team in the Premier League.
Absolutely, yeah.
But we haven't seen a good Calvin Phillips now for 18 months. And he's going to like one of the only clubs that feels like they did not need a defensive midfielder like that. You know, pretty much every other team would have taken that.
It's like
Liverpool would have loved that. Like
Liverpool, but I feel like West Ham have overcompensated for the Declan Rice. Like everyone was like on their back, how they're going to replace him. They've gone inside.
It wasn't that long ago. Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice were in a similar conversation.
Yeah,
you know, like and now they've gone inside. Now they've gone and got three
of the same
DMs who have been like who've shown their Premier League quality.
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah, I
mean, they've listened to the media too much and like we're selling every DM we can possibly sign.
15 midfielders.
Yeah, to cover for one guy. I know. Two of us here, Declan Rice. You know, we love Declan Rice, but it's not like you need to go 11, mate. Yeah, it's like when you go sign 3 Declan Rices to play. It's just strange.
You're trying to like cover for all these different attributes.
Yeah, with all the same sort of former player. Which
England one. Now we got. Now we have the English one.
Yeah, the English is there. You know, we got the South American ability to snap a player. Yeah, it's strange. And I guess other real sign I got written down here: Dragusin to Spurs. I haven't seen much of him yet, and he's gonna be coming off the bench. You reckon he'll be a bench player for the time being until? So it's just a bit like...
Yeah, I've seen nothing with this Jan window. Wow. Yeah. I mean, at least in recent years, you know, so Liverpool had Gakpo last year.
Some big signings.
At least we had Trossard last year. Like Chelsea got Mudryk.
Yeah, see, things happen.
Teams signed players. Yeah, did you guys sign anyone last year?
Did we sign anyone last year? I don't think we did. Surprisingly enough, we're actually going to right last season this time last year. We're in a cup final.
Yeah, that's right. You weren't doing too bad.
We were cooking in the FA Cup.
And you cooked in the summer window.
Yeah, we had some good...
As in you spent money, put it like that. Yeah. Like, whereas, this year is just dead. And obviously, I think we said off camera, that like, it seems to do with financial fair play.
That's what I'm getting at,
you know, a lot of teams just ship players. Like Newcastle sounds like they have to sell a bunch of players. And I don't know what's actually happening with that, but I know...
Yeah. Well, Chelsea are screwed as well. They're not. I think Eric Ten Hag has actually come out and said now that they can't sell Martial, we cannot do any business.
Okay. So Martial was like on the
Martial was it, but they had surgery, so he can't sell it. So that was it. We're done.
Shock, he had surgery.
Obviously, you guys are fine in terms of being a good squad, but we all thought maybe a striker to fix that up, but it seems that's dead in the water. So obviously, FFP is a real thing, and now that City it's become a real thing that City could get this whole massive.
Any
deduction.
update on Everton Forest? On that?
Nothing that I know of yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And I think maybe because the Premier League's gone away for a bit, once we come back, we might hear more about it. But now that it's a real thing and it's like tangible, we're seeing teams, then you're getting teams sort of...
Especially when you scale the fact that like Everton's misconduct compared to what City potentially done. Yeah, it's not just points, it's like relegation, maybe titles. So, it does suddenly... like it's... Look, despite us not necessarily agreeing with the approach the Premier League's taken with... issuing
how they've done it,
punishments, right, and the order of operations sort of thing. That at least something's been like something tangible, as you said, has happened. So as a result, I guess we're seeing the repercussions of teams worrying about their future a little bit more.
Yeah, because January's always been carried by Premier League. Because me and Nathan a few weeks back did our best favourite January transfers. Basically, all of them are Prem teams. And I started to realise, geez, only Prem teams plus the cash in
Prem
January.
tax real thing, man.
Yeah, which is. And teams worry that Prem, everything's a big deal. So you need to fix the seasons. But looks like you can no longer fix with just signings like that.
Oh, so much of those, we're going to sign Oshman, we're going to sign Tony.
Yeah, now it's just like...
So much of that, And now,
it's also...
At least we might be primed for a big summer.
That's the thing. It's good. It's what's going to end up being now. It's just massive summers, and then just selling in January to even out the FFP.
Fixing a few little potholes. Yeah,
like a big loan signings, and it's not the same aura January as it did before. That brings us now to our stopgap segment for this week, being our underrated Premier League 11. It's a common one done. We haven't actually done it yet, so I'm surprised out of all these weeks, all these episodes, we haven't done an underrated Premier League 11. Okay. Very interesting, this one, because...
I like this. I think we'll have different teams as well.
Hopefully. We've said a lot of weeks, but...
I know we have a few similar ones.
But hopefully by now, we've got a different team.
I also think there's like... With this, it's one of the more subjective ones.
That's the thing. What is underrated?
It's not so like as in... You can easily make a case for like a player having like an underrated season or like a whole underrated career, so you want to give them some credit. Like, and I've got a bit like a mix of both here.
A mix, yeah.
And even like... People often get underrated mixed with like... being good, like as in, you can't be a really, really good player and be underrated, but you can.
You can.
Like,
I've got a few players in here that I think are superstars.
I've got some elite players in here. Like
don't
some
get
big name players in here, which are just like, I don't necessarily think they should be considered even higher rated amongst their sort of fellow players in the same position and stuff.
It's wherever you sit. It's are you underrated where you should be, sort of thing. Yeah. So it's gonna be we're gonna have interesting. So should we go feedback
position by position? I think
we might as well. Just two of us, might as well. Yeah. So goalkeeper, you guys kicked off.
I've gone Neto from Bournemouth.
Good shout.
One of the more like, less, not sort of top 5 keepers in the league.
Yeah.
But probably could be in that conversation. I mean, I've watched. Neto was obviously at Barca for a couple of years, and then now he's been at Bournemouth. And I think he's been so solid in that Bournemouth team.
Great turnaround since.
And there's a lot of keepers you can make a case for. But I think he's good with his feet. He's been there under a few different managers now, and they all continue to pick him. Right? He's also that sort of player in his team, which like has actually a bit a bit of that. Despite having a lot of good Brazilian keepers, he still feels like one of the European level players in that team. Like played in the Champions League,
top level player.
Yeah, played at Barca. So like he
no slash.
To me is always super consistent, good, like really, really decent with his hands and good with his feet. And I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does.
Definitely. I went a difference. I went the more lower down. I think deserves a little bit more credit, being Thomas Kaminski from Luton. So this
this is super underrated.
So this is me, Neto, and him, and I thought Neto, because of the Barca thing, I couldn't put him in, but I understand where you come from. The fact that he doesn't get
amongst the Prem keepers, I think he's underrated.
He should be talked about more.
I mean, it's funny you say this though, because of all the 3 like relegation teams, everyone speaks about Trafford. Everyone speaks about bloody Fotheringham as being terrible.
Yeah, like it's because Trafford's like the next gen. He's sort of like flashy, uses his feet,
but he's not underrated at all.
I feel like he gets enough rating.
A lot of credit.
Yeah, it's almost overrated at this point in time. Whereas Kaminski, I feel like there's nothing special about this bloke. He makes some big saves and some big moments. Again, he might not be the most consistent keeper, but what Luton have now, they recognise very quickly, they're not going to win games by being in possession. They're going to just concede chances and concede shots. He's made some terrific saves along the way. He's been there despite Tim Krul being signed. I thought that would be the player that would go with Tim Krul in goal. They've stuck with this guy, and that's all respect to him. I think he's been a very respectable keeper that, when you think about Luton in the Prem, if they go back down for a bit, you always sort of link as him.
You didn't have any stats related to this, like as in big saves.
This is the thing.
I feel like should have.
But again, you should have. But I feel like this is one of those lists we said. It's a subjective.
It's a bit of an eye test. Yeah, a bit of an eye test list.
And this is why I love these old eye test subjective things, because it's just, you're going to get different teams. That's what's going to happen, right? But I think, if you probably did look at the big saves, it might not be right at the top, but he'll be around that mark, I feel like, in that
when
top
you watch him, like...
You feel like he has enough there to keep them in games.
Yeah, it's like a comparison of like... eye test and like Twitter recognition.
Recognition,
They get no recognition.
These guys got under the radar. No one talks
already
about
underrated.
Not slandered or not talked about highly. That's where they sit.
So left back, I've gone Anthony Robinson.
Yeah, this is good.
I think I touched on him earlier this year on like my one player from each team squad.
Yeah.
And it was like, I was weighing up him and someone else, and it was like, I think in that Fulham team, Anthony Robinson's one of the higher end players. He absolutely locked down someone from like one of the big teams the other day. I don't know. I can't remember who it was. It might have been
who played on the right for Liverpool in the Cup. Because in the Cup, he was good as well recently.
I think Liverpool slapped him in the league. Oh no! I think it was Salah.
Something like
that. He did a job on Salah, and it was the game where they're going back and forth, and Fulham nearly won against Liverpool earlier this year.
Yeah,
and Salah was just so quiet for the entire game. I don't know.
He
might have scored 3 or something, but Anthony Robinson across the board, he gets, it feels like he gets 90 minutes most weeks, and in a pretty shaky defensive makeup. I feel like he's one of the more solid players where I think he's good man on man. He's really quick.
Very quick.
And what I find about Anthony Robinson when I watch him, he's pretty no nonsense. Like, doesn't try and, you know, he's happy to just kick it out for a throw in, right? You know, like, if it's a 1-on-1 and he takes possession, don't risk it with Burn Leno, who we know is not great with his feet.
Shaky.
Just smack it Rosette and just reset, you know. And I think that's an underrated characteristic nowadays.
Know your level, because we've got a lot of players in the Prem who think they're Hollywood. And
then we see that can often be the undoing of them.
Yeah, 100%. From a United fan, I can definitely say that. My left back, going Tyreek Mitchell.
Okay.
Again, another Crystal Palace fan club sort of thing as well.
Underrated?
This is the thing. Is he still class underrated?
See, is he actually... No, but see, that's the thing. Is that, like, everyone knows Tyreek Mitchell, the name.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a household name.
He's become one now.
But is he, like... Is he not recognised for actually how good he is?
I think, he should get a little more credit. Obviously, he's not near that England level yet, but I think he'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a raw... Again, a lot of these Crystal Palace players, there's a raw talent there. If he gets a right move or keeps playing at the right club or right system, then we could be seeing a proper player, good both ways, really good into a tackle. I feel like his closing speed and his ability to just get in and just make that big tackle. Like you said, just get out of play. He's not someone's going to be superb with the ball.
A little bit rash.
Yeah. Again, he makes some mistakes here and then out of position, but I feel like there's a talent there, and maybe I'm just again extrapolating a little bit. But I feel like what I've seen this season, especially in a back line, has been when they play well, it's the back line that plays well. Goes down to a lot of him. When he's out of the team, when Richards plays in that position, they don't look the same team. So that's why I had to put him in there. But again, he's got his recognition. It's if I don't think you get enough recognition to where he's at. Yeah.
What's the next position?
Centre backs. Do you want to pair them up?
So I've gone two big names here. These are both big name players.
Okay.
But I don't think either of them. Okay, this might be biased. Gabriel.
Okay.
I think is so outshone by Saliba.
I get that bit. Yeah.
One, and that's no discredit to Saliba, because he is, I think, probably the best centre back in the league. I think Saliba is a bloody Rolls Royce. I think he'd be, one of the top two centre backs in the world. I think he's that good.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But I think Gabriel is so underrated because of this. I think you could easily make a case for them two being number 1 and 2 in the league. I think Gabriel is that good, and because of the mistakes he used to make years ago now, right? Like, used to snap a couple guys in the box and give away a few silly pens here and there. But this was a handful of times, right?
Yeah, no, I get that.
But because they were so highlighted, I think they easily come to mind about like a rash player. He's just not the next echelon. I think Gabriel now, plays 90, despite the start of the season. Last season played 90 minutes every week.
Yeah.
He played Europa. He played, bloody every FA Cup game. He played everything, right?
Yeah.
So, Gabriel, I think, should be considered in the top echelon, but I don't think he is.
Yeah.
The other one I've gone is Pau Torres. So this one, I don't really know if he's underrated. I feel like he is.
Yeah.
But I feel like you can make a case for a lot of the Villa centre backs. Diego Carlos probably underrated because he's been injured.
Yeah.
Even Tyrone Mings when he was playing,
he gets slandered a lot.
Yeah, I feel like he was slandered a lot because he was a bit stinky there.
Yeah.
But across the board, I think Villa, their centre backs are like allow their fullbacks to kick on so much, right?
Yeah.
And Pau Torres, elite on the ball, left-footed left side centre back, which are rare nowadays. Yeah. I think he won La Liga Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, like last year.
Yeah.
And he's always been linked to the big clubs, but he's just sort of, he's never got that big move. And even Villa isn't a big move. Like only Unai brought him over because it's sort of Unai's man.
Link,
right?
Yeah.
But I think, very, very consistent. Both these guys are aerial threats, which I think is a real underrated factor of a centre back. Like being able to score like a goal here and there. Like we saw on the weekend. If you can open up a team early in the game with a goal, or you can find a late winner, that is a great threat to have.
Yep, you need it.
And so I think they're both not that like they're not considered good players. Everyone knows they're good.
Yeah.
But I think they're probably both like underrated in the sense of where they should be in that top class of centre backs. I don't think they're the same. I think Gabriel's better. Yeah. But I think they both should be considered higher up.
Okay. I like it. This makes me make it good because I went.
You went a bit more rogue.
I went again. Yeah. I've got a lot of lower players in my back line, and then it gets a bit better as I get in the forward. So I went with Craig Dawson and Ethan Pinnock. I could have gone with Kilman as well because someone
Max
you really
Kilman,
like.
I rate
as well. I'm just
but Dawson's definitely more underrated in that centre back.
I feel again for an English guy as well because normally the English guy get talked about heaps more. He doesn't get talked about enough. I feel like talk about good from a.
Do you reckon he's a bit of like a Lewis Dunk a couple years ago? Lewis Dunk's got his plaudits in recent years.
It'll feel like that, but he's not showbody, if you know what I mean, like Lewis Dunk. Lewis Dunk's got more. We've seen his free kicks. We see how easy he is in the ball.
He drives in the ball.
Yeah, like Dawson, literally just your guy, not quick, knows his role, right?
Is he like a Cahill back in the day?
You know, something like that, right? Something like that. Because Gary Cahill was a decent player on his day, and that's what Dawson is. Just super consistent. He'll give you 6, 7 out of 10 every single week. He's not going to give you a remarkable performance. He will score the odd goal from a corner. I just feel like West Ham missed a trick getting rid of him. I feel like we're talking off air a bit about Mavropanos and how stinky he is at the back. If Dawson was still there with Zuma,
I know.
It's not quick. It'd be very slow
now, man.
But Dawson and Zuma is a combination that I would have liked to see more of.
Yeah.
I think, probably more slept on what he did at West Ham as well. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then Pinnock for me as well. A little bit of Man United thing as well. Every time we verse these guys, Pinnock just shuts down our forwards. He's always in the way. And a Brentford team that hasn't been good this year, right? Yeah. But he's always felt like he's been there, solid,
and
consistent.
Next to Ben May, probably never gets like the...
With Collins and Ben May, who are more the Rolls Royces in terms of they look a bit nice on the ball and stuff. This guy just gets in the way for a block. Solid enough on the ball.
And he's an attacking threat as well. Big boy. And I swear, I'm not sure, once again, what his stats are.
I think he's got a few goals.
But I feel like Ethan Pinnock gets in the... I know he's in a lot of FPL teams, right? Yeah. And that usually means that... There's
a correlation there
for a bit of attacking threat.
Again, these two guys that you'll never really hear about, but... Two guys, whenever I watch my team play them or I can't come across watching them, it's just the small things they do that stand out. So two different styles looking at it, but that's the way I went for my back two. Right backs now.
Do you go right back? Go, okay. Keep going. You're on.
Again, same sort of vein again. Alfie
Dowdy.
We're
on the same here.
Yeah, should we talk about it? We talked about this a little bit before on air. Before you went on air.
We both went Alfie.
Don't want Alfie Dowdy. You know what? Fair play. Like this guy. Yeah. I talked about Kaminsky being linked with
borderline, not underrated. As of the last few weeks.
The last sort of 2 weeks.
But it's been the last month.
Yeah, people have saying, oh, damn, this guy's deep.
Because he's been elite this year.
Energizer Bunny, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Super good attacking threat.
Oh, yeah. But he's obviously not as solid at the back as maybe my Tyreek Mitchell's or Dawson's and Pinnock's. A bit of a different mould. But damn, this guy, he gives them solid service from that left or right. Sometimes he goes out to the left.
Yeah.
But on the right there as well. Yeah. Links up well with the wing as you come on. Him and Chong's going to have that sort of good link, crossing the ball around. And even him and Barkley, I feel like those two are just a bit of a different level in the Luton team.
Their ball playing is a little bit more upper, next class above.
Yeah, the next echelon. So I said to your affair as well, could be a bit of a Andy Robertson whole thing where maybe they go down and people find that this guy's a player. They might go to maybe a top 10,
I would be surprised if he doesn't
get
a much bigger move
after
this year.
I feel like then he can start establishing himself.
Because he's young. He's...
I'm pretty sure he's not young, but he's not, we're not saying in the 30s.
Don't tell me he's 28.
I think he's around that sort of mid-mark.
Oh, damn it. Is he?
Oh, 24. No, you're right.
I don't think
24. Yeah. I thought he was a little bit older. I thought he was 26, but it's fine. 1-0 to you for the day.
Oh, just 24 as well. December 21st, mate.
Oh, so he's
a 99. He's nearly a 2000, baby. And everyone born
99. That's crazy.
Yeah, mate. He's young.
That's 1-0 to you. I thought he was 25, 26.
Yeah.
But no, I just
baller.
Consistent baller.
And I mean, probably won't be underrated for too much longer because he's sort of getting his credit.
I think the last few weeks we can say his name before it becomes too much to talk about. Midfield. Okay, we're going to have a lot of difference. We went to midfield 3, obviously the 4-3-3, but...
It was for me, it was just kind of
I want to premise that...
Just get ballers in this...
I just got central midfielders or midfielders in my midfield.
So I think we both have one we agree on. Brighton...
Pascal
Gross, mate.
Rob.
And this is one where once again, finally, it feels like he's getting a bit of credit now.
Recently,
because the fact that no Basuma, no McAllister, no Caicedo, they've lost these bloody gems in there.
He's been playing everywhere.
And now, I mean, he played last year, played right back, played 10,
He played in the 8 as well.
And this year he plays everywhere. But he's been playing everywhere for years now, right? Yeah. His ball playing is elite. He's 33.
But doesn't
no one Pascal Gross was only on the map the last few years. I'm telling you, this guy is a baller. Ball playing elite, creative. He's one of these guys as well, which just when he scores goals, just places it in the net.
Yeah, it's just good looking goals.
It's just so casual, and it's so nice to watch. I never see him put in a bad performance. No. I always feel like he can create something out of nothing. And it doesn't matter if they're getting battered, or if they're turning teams over. I just think he's super consistent in his output. Gets a lot of picks up a lot of assists. I think he might be the second leading assist player in the league. I mean, he's
putting
up numbers this year, which is kind of why he's getting a little bit more credit this year.
He's been their shining light from fullback. That says a lot. He's playing fullback. He's probably been their best player, most consistent player this season. I'll check the stats out.
He's just like so visually.
Yeah, six assists.
Yeah.
Obviously, it says he's 10th, but he's like
either from a bit of a deeper lying midfield role or getting out wide on the fullback. So
ridiculous.
Super versatile, super good in the ball, like it's very good, like good to the eye.
I say that's the biggest compliment. Every time I watch Brighton play, I can't miss him. It's just impossible to miss this guy.
Like
every blade of grass should be happy that Pascal Gross is going to struggle.
And he's also on all their set pieces.
Yeah.
And very good on set pieces. Yeah. So I think his all-round game, like underrated because of the fact that he's getting on a little bit now. And there's no big moves coming for him, right? Like
he's never in anyone's
he's
team
never
of the
linked
years.
he's never linked to one of the bigger clubs.
Yeah. He's never going to be in those, he's never like the meat shoes of like the one season wonders. He's just been Brighton. I just feel like Brighton, Pascal, it's worked. So
baller, Pascal.
It's hard to explain. He's just a baller, that's well said.
And it's been severely underrated now.
For years.
Yeah,
he is. Showed him my other two midfielders.
Yeah.
So I went.
I've gone sort of different tune here to you.
I've gone Kamara, which is I guess the start of the pickup of the player alongside Gross. Again, super player. And this year I had to put one Villa player in. We all expect us.
I'll do my other Villa player.
Yeah, do your other Villa player.
So I've gone McGinn.
Do you want me? I went Kamara.
This was really tough for me because I actually think you're probably more right in terms of underrated. That like Kamara is the fact that he gets picked every week and plays minutes every week.
He's just there.
And it isn't talked about anywhere near as much as McGinn and Douglas Luiz this year.
Yeah.
And amongst Leon Bailey and Diaby and all these guys, right?
Keep naming names.
He probably actually is the actual underrated one. I think Douglas Luiz is now getting the like higher echelon credit where like he's probably at a right level now.
Yeah.
And McGinn, I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted about putting him in underrated because I think he's sort of nearly
he's getting
rated
there, I think,
at the right level.
Right spot.
But I mean, it's more so just like Villa's midfield has been underrated. Like McGinn's been there now for years, right?
Yeah.
And he's never really been rated until this year, I guess.
The underrated thing about him though, he's played different positions.
Yeah,
he played as a 6. Now he's playing basically as a 10, which is ridiculous.
But you going with Kamara?
Kamara, the thing, it sort of builds onto your point. You talk about Luiz, you talk about McGinn.
Yeah.
Half for their passports, half because of their name, basically. Yeah. Kamara's just the guy, like you said, he's there every single game. He'll either play at the 6 or he can play at the 8 because if Luiz drops in behind. But I just feel like out of this Villa midfield, you have to put someone in there. And out of all, like you said perfectly, those two names are talked about a lot. And I've talked about McGinn a lot on this show consistently throughout the year. Kamara, though, just does the business, right? A consistent performer. And I feel like this whole team, these underrated 11s are all guys who are just consistent. They don't put in bad performances. Yeah. I can't really, the odd mistake here and there, but even on the ball.
Yeah, they don't have as much flair moments,
no,
right?
but
which often get them the highlights and get them the rating.
The gap.
They're just super.
The gap between best and worst is like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas where you got like some of the big club players at the moment, you have great performers, you got absolute stinkers. And that's why these guys are so good at what they do. And I feel like in any team in the world right now, you'd take a Kamara, even like the Real Madrid. So you put a Kamara next to Bellingham, frees up Bellingham. Like any team in the world, you put a Kamara there, you're saying thank you very much, and let all the other midfielders progress. That's probably the biggest compliment I can give.
No discredit to like McGinn or Douglas Luiz, but you think about potentially when Villa get a little bit more attacking output in like Buendia back, who definitely has more attacking output than both there. The other two I mentioned. Yeah. It's like, do you sort of take that approach and try and just like free up Buendia, make it a bit more of an attacking like front 4-ish sort of thing, 3-4, and try and score more goals because like you know Kamara can probably deal with a bit more responsibility to be like that sort of defensive minded guy in that midfield.
Yep.
And have either McGinn next to him or if Douglas Luiz leaves, it sounds like one of them might leave. Then like it probably allows you probably get to see Kamara in more of like a almost Paulinia type midfield role in that Fulham team where something he's really rated now because he's like the sole midfielder in that defensive minder in that team. So maybe that's sort of the future Kamara in that Villa team.
Sense of I think Luiz, we can agree that he's.
He's been linked. It's like similar to a bit of we always get these players
constantly
linked every window.
But do they ever go?
And like it just, I can't see him going on to us now, who was a big link over the last few years. But it feels like he's primed for a a bigger money move, right? Not that Villa, Villa are in that bigger club echelon now. They're playing their way into that. But I don't know what the money is on like, right? And I feel like there's clubs out there who are willing to offer him a much bigger salary,
big paycheck
to fill a gap in their midfield. So I wouldn't be surprised if Luiz leaves.
Definitely.
But yeah,
who's your third in that trio?
My third midfielder. Okay, so this one, he's a massive name player, and he's actually had it's so annoying. This last 6 months has done
establish himself back.
I've gone Bernardo Silva.
You know what? I can stand by that. I can back that.
He's still underrated. This guy's
only just getting enough, and maybe
is he even getting enough? Should Bernardo Silva not be in a team of the season every year? Lock every year? He borderline should be. Yeah. When you're overshadowed by KDB and Rodri and Gundo and these flair players, you got Rodri, defensive sole pivot, scores goals.
Yeah.
You got KDB, scores goals, and he's just KDB, right?
It's KDB, the best
and you got
player.
Gundo with his buddy January and February every year, right?
Yeah.
It's where can Bernardo Silva, Pep gets him in that, this is Pep. And he gets him in that team every week, whether it's on right wing, whether it's in a centre midfield, whether it's deep, whether he picks up the ball from Edison.
Yeah.
He is it feels like he's one of the first names on that team sheet because of what he does for that team. He just joins everything together. He's so good on the ball. Talk about Pascal Gross popping up and being good on the ball. This guy is one of the best players I've ever seen do this. Honestly, on the ball, I put him similar conversations, buddy Messi, because he's might not score the goals Messi does, and that's why he's not the same player.
Yeah.
But this guy is so good on the ball.
Yeah,
I've seen him run rings around Van Dijk. I got buddy clips on this. He just puts Van Dijk on his bum, starts doing these spins
ridiculous.
Bernardo Silva, nothing like the other players who said in this list because. No.
But
in terms
levels,
of where he should be,
yeah,
he should be in a top 3 midfielder debate every year, but he never is.
That's a thing.
But that's how good he is, right? And
it's hard, man.
It's just so hard to be in that conversation unless you're scoring goals week in, week out. And unfortunately, he just doesn't do that. He's not really on set pieces. He doesn't have these camera moments, right?
No.
He just kind of pops up and puts the ball in the net every now and then. He's just such a tough one.
I think I said it a few times because it's funny enough. We've stumbled across Bernardo Silva a few times on this show, the other show, a lot. I'll say it maybe hopefully for the last time because he'll be rated from now on in. Yeah. The thing about Bernardo Silva, as much as this might sound strange and maybe not really relevant, he came from arguably City's best ever player, which was David Silva. He had to take that role. He had to have that mantle. So that was one thing. He's taken that and I think almost surpassed it in terms of maybe not standing out, but doing his job. He gets moved to the right, to the left, in behind, at the 8, constantly. Every week, you don't know where the hell this guy's playing. He just pops up and gets the job done. And the thing is as well, like you said, in Pep Guardiola's team and in Pep Guardiola's signings, he was one of the early signings that was the staple pieces of his team. Doesn't that just say it all? Doesn't that just show you how good he is?
Yeah, it's the fact that he's Pep will find a way
to fit this guy somewhere.
Fit him in. That is the biggest compliment you can have to Bernardo Silva's impact in that
incredible
team. Is that Pep? Pep has all the money in the world. If he wants to sign a player in that position, he can go get someone.
Go sign Calvin Phillips.
But there's never there's never a debate about a midfielder coming and taking Bernardo Silva. It's always he's going to play alongside KDB or Bernardo Silva or Rodri. I was where's he going to play? They've already got Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
Which has been the reality now.
That's what it is.
They signed Mateus Nunes. They signed buddy Calvin Phillips. They signed all these midfielder players.
Cole Palmer gets sold.
Cole Palmer gone.
Yeah.
They got Kovacic there. They've tried to sign these Gundo replacements, but they've just sort of realised, we've got KDB, we've got Bernardo Silva, we've got Rodri. We don't really need anyone else.
Bernardo can play the 8.
So it's just such a weird one because he's obviously rated, but he's just probably not. He probably should be. His legacy in the Premier League and as a player should probably be in a Premier League great.
Talked about
because he's won so many trophies. He's been a staple in so many trophy winning teams. He was a staple in a treble winning Pep Guardiola team, and yet, he's just not. It doesn't feel like he's going to be there in that debate when it comes to those Premier League players. Haaland's only been there 18 months.
Talking about him
and he will be much more of a staple, much more of a memory in that Pep team than Bernardo Silva, and that's purely because he gets in the end of all this creative work in the midfield.
Goal tick.
To open up and allow these tap-ins, which is essentially what he scores.
Haaland does,
right? So, look, such a great player to watch, Bernardo Silva. Like, he really, you know, he sort of is the essence of like, like football. You know what I mean?
This is the beautiful
like,
game. The beautiful game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
he's just so unlucky though. Like you said, so you got Rodri and De Bruyne in his own team. Then you've also got like another Portuguese in Bruno Fernandes as well.
Oh, disregard. Yeah.
And then you've got Martin Odegaard that's been around.
Like, bloody Portugal's team has ballers. You've always had Ronaldo there, overshadowing everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got Ronaldo.
Yeah. And then when Bruno plays for Portugal,
Bruno
for Portugal is
biggest player.
Yeah, like ridiculous. It's crazy because I think if in the Portuguese team, I think Bernardo Silva was almost taken away by what Bruno does. But if you put them on separate teams, you know, obviously Bruno gets all the applause because he's the captain and he does all the moaning. And I think they're both.
I think you ask a lot of people who actually watch football. Would you rather Bruno or Bernardo Silva?
I think a lot of people Bernardo.
I think most people take Bernardo.
It's consistent
performance. It obviously depends on the position, right? You know, if you want more output, you're going to go Bruno. But like, who's a better player? I think everyone says. I think if you watch the game, and if you don't say Bernardo, that's probably why he's underrated. Bruno's good, man. But I think Bernardo Silva should be clear of him. And Bruno's very good.
I think I don't know what I should say this. I think he's in the same sort of there's levels, but he's in that same sort of ilk like Kroos and Modric, where they're like,
you say there's levels, but there probably shouldn't be. This is the point. I have a lot of. Has he won?
Yeah, no, he's won. He's many.
He's been a staple
treble
of the Premier League Farmers era, right? He's made the Farmers League.
I know,
and he's been a staple. I know he was benched a little bit more back then,
but
I know that he's like solidified in that team.
I still think though there's a difference to Kroos and Modric.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Modric
like
was in a
if
Ballon
you
d'Or
talk about
debate.
this is football.
No. I agree. Like,
but those guys I don't think get the respect they deserve.
But how
he's
old
very
is
similar
Bernardo Silva, man?
29. I'm pretty sure 29 because I made a
Kroos and Modric are like 38.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Let this guy do it.
Yeah, if he keeps doing it to this age, like what Kroos and Modric are.
And that's another thing is that Bernardo Silva's done this at such a young age.
At Monaco, he was ridiculous as well.
He's
people forget that actually. People forget the Monaco team.
He's 30 this year, but the player he can go for 10 more years because that's the player he is.
He just roams around, picks the ball up.
He's a Kroos type. He's a Modric type.
Yeah,
he's a purely like intelligence based and on the ball based player.
Yeah,
he doesn't need any strength.
No,
he doesn't need any pace.
He's a little hobbit. I always say he's a little hobbit. He roams around.
He's already bald. Like
he's
he's one of those players who can just go on for years to come, and maybe that's why he's underrated.
Yeah,
because he hasn't done it for the 10 years, like the 10 more years, like Kroos and Modric have done.
That'd be one of the greatest debates, maybe in the future.
Yeah,
I have a lot of respect for Kroos and Modric. Like, I hold him like on a pedestal, like because
obviously you got Messi for recognition.
Exactly, you get Messi, Ronaldo, and you get Neymar, and you put him and Benzema. All the guys get put.
Casuals don't appreciate it.
But then you look at these guys. Yeah. And even now with like Tchouaméni and all these guys here, like they're trying to be them, but always one of them in the starting. Modric is always in the starting level.
Well, they keep trying to replace the signing.
But guess who's still there?
Bellingham,
but guess who's still there?
Exactly.
These guys, and that's the thing. With Bernardo, could be the thing for City. You could get Matheus Nunes and all these guys come in, but guess who's still there?
Like KDB's getting injured a bit now. Like, these guys, players like KDB and these players who are not that KDB relies on his athleticism. But he's a bit bigger, a bit taller. Like he's like 6 foot.
Off a little bit more.
Exactly. Like these players who rely a bit more on their physicality and their athleticism and their sort of like archetype build will drop off as they start getting in their mid-30s, late 30s.
Yeah.
He'll only stop because he's like 40 and has kids and wants to stop.
Yeah, his knees are done. Yeah,
literally, it's like he's not one of these players which will ever.
You can't lose your mental side of the game.
Exactly. He'll only get better.
Yeah,
at that.
He'll just start seeing more things.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's a great player we can watch for the rest of his career, and who probably has another 10 years left.
Oh yeah, I think we can.
But yeah,
Daisy's that.
He definitely got his credit just then.
I was about to say, but now this makes my next guy look like an absolute scum.
Who have you got? I've my front three. It's hilarious.
I've got there's my third midfielder. I've got Ryan Yates, who's the Nottingham Forest central midfielder.
That's hilarious.
Okay, I should have put mine before yours. Now thinking about it, we're gonna tail it back. How do I put it? When Nottingham Forest play their best, this guy's there.
That's hilarious.
And now that Nuno's there, he's playing Yates. I think that's the biggest credit. They've sort of tried to turn it around, and he's the guy playing. Obviously, he's even in that Nottingham Forest team. He's not even a name.
People are going to think we're putting like Bernardo Silva, and somehow they won't understand that we're not talking about them being different
levels. We did a whole monologue of 15 minutes about Bernardo Silva, but no, this is me doing.
That's hilarious.
I'm trying to get different names in there, and this is the guy. I have a lot of people who have soft spots for. That's another one of those players I have a soft spot for. But I think the difference when he plays when he doesn't play that team, and the fact that he's not like Amarillo or not a Domingue, all these South Americans, and not a Langer or not a Awani, says a lot. He's just a Yates. He's Yates. He's Ryan. He's Ryan. He's Ryan from England. And I think, that's the thing.
Ryan from England.
He's a solid player, breaks the play up, energize a bunny. Every team needs one of them. And that's why he's in my team. Yeah. Not Bernardo Silva, though. Yeah. He's not Bernardo Silva.
Oh, who would you rather, Ryan Yates?
Yeah, Ryan Yates.
Okay, so front three. So it's funny because I've gone on about Bernardo, but then I go on to...
But I'm do your whole front three. I feel like it might work this way.
Okay. So my front... Doesn't actually... Okay, it'll allow me to make a case a bit better.
I feel like it'll work for me.
So, look, this isn't like, if I wanted like a real team, this sort of work. They're all pretty versatile.
Yeah.
So I've gone. This one, I'll get eyebrows for this. I've gone Leandro Trossard.
I've got Leandro Trossard on the left as well.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That's why I want to do it as a three because I feel like we have a very similar.
Oh yeah, nice.
Trossard. Yeah.
Okay, and I've gone Danny Welbeck at 9.
I had Wilson.
And then I've gone Jordan Ayew as like my other player.
Different.
I'd probably put Ayew on the left, Trossard on the right. Trossard's a bit more.
He can go anywhere.
What's the word? Like versatile. Yeah. Then Ayew, he's a bit more of like a striker / left forward thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys across the board, like, despite, I think Trossard will both agree on, like, despite getting that big Arsenal move and stuff,
but he's still, what's 30 mil? Like,
yeah, well, one, the transfer fee will undermine his move 100% because 27 mil is what he signed him for. When the same window, we signed a 27-year-old Trossard for 27 mil when Chelsea signed 100 mil Mykhailo Mudryk.
They're 9.
You know what I mean? Yeah. This is the guy that had like 3 weeks, 3 months before, scored a hat trick at Anfield.
And battered Liverpool,
And did those ones.
Then crazy on them.
He's so good on both feet. Had put a shift in at Brighton for years, and had good output. Like, I don't know what his numbers were, but it felt like he scored
big time players.
Big goals in big games.
Yeah.
And he's also one of those players that left Brighton, which is never spoken about.
No,
we never give Brighton credit for surviving without a player like
Trossard, who's Premier League.
That's output they lost, man. And it kind of allowed Matoma to become Matoma. To shine.
Yeah, that's the perfect thing because you lose Trossard, who was the guy around the place. Matoma was there. The thing about Trossard though, another biggest crack I can give him, he comes to the bench every single game. 60th minute, you look to the bench, who's warming up?
He's even and is that meaning he's not underrated in Arteta's eyes because he's always the first guy to go to, but he's almost underappreciated in the fact that
and I know it's
why does he not get a look into start?
That's what I'm saying. And I know it's Martinelli and Saka. And last season I get it, but this season you got, and obviously now you're starting to see it.
Gabby scores a double.
Yeah,
it does show you why. Yeah, I know. No, I know. I mean, he started on the weekend.
Yeah. So, I guess recently we've seen it.
He comes, but he has to work a lot harder
than the others do.
It's like with Martinelli and Saka, guilty until proven so innocent until proven guilty. In we have to mount a case to get you dropped. Whereas with Trossard, he has to fight for his bloody spot.
Yeah, that's
right. Fight for his bloody innocence. Yeah. Right. For my example.
Yeah.
To get a look in, and it just feels like he has to work so much harder, but he continually does. It's now been a year.
Yeah.
And you thought maybe once getting dropped, it'd be a lot harder to get back in the team. But he's still earning his spot back in.
He's there.
Basically, a year to the day, started against whoever we battered.
Who did you have that first game?
Palace. We just battered Palace. He started in that game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Smart came off the bench. And it just showed. Yeah, he continually gives output and just does his job from the bench. And he keeps at the likes of Smith Rowe and Nelson and these guys who have good cameos every now and then.
Yeah.
But he's just the first guy. He's just
so technically skilled.
Yeah.
Scores a goal.
Yeah. Good in the
Fox
ball.
in the box as well. It reminds you of the Liverpool players. That's why I love the Liverpool players. Like Diaz and Jota. These guys just
know. Like a Jota.
Yeah, there's nowhere to be.
Finishing.
They know where to be. They're not that Jota's probably a bit better with his head, but they've got the ability to score with all these different parts. Left
Jota's
and right
a bit better in general, but in terms of
same mold.
Yeah, very, not overly quick.
No.
Or big.
They shouldn't have been the wing, you think, but they're just good in the wing. They see the pass. They make the right decisions. Another one, again, it's similar with all these players. His best and his worst is not much different.
Yeah. Do they have the bloody same celebration as well? Doesn't Jota hit these ones as well?
I think he does as well.
He does do some weird eye thing.
Well, no, I don't know Jota. Jota's half time doing the gaming celebration as well. But yeah,
that's funny.
Trossard was one of the first ones I put in. To be honest with you,
I'm surprised. I would have thought, he's at Arsenal. It's too hard to put him in.
That's the thing. It seemed hard, but we could talk about 45 minutes about why he's underappreciated.
Super underrated, I think, Trossard.
Yeah, I think he deserves to start. But yeah.
So I said Ayew and Welbeck. Who else?
So I had Trossard, Wilson, and I went Solly March. So again, that's why I saved it as a.
He's been out all year.
I know, and someone who I also thought people appreciate a lot, but I feel like again, similar to the Bernardo Silva thing, this guy's, and we're big on how much Solly March changes. This team, right?
I think we saw in the first few weeks what Solly March would have done for that Brighton team. And towards the back end of last year when De Zerbi came in, he would have been integral into getting sort of. He has a lot of output. Yeah,
he finds numbers. You don't think he has numbers, but he finds them. And it's similar to Gross. Every blade of grass he touches, he makes it perfect. Like, it's beautiful. Like, everything he does is just nice to watch. And it's not pace. It's not ridiculous, like, skills or anything like that. It's just like, I'm going to put in...
basically has 1 foot. Like, he makes it work with, like, not much of a right leg. Like,
and we've seen people struggle with one foot. You see what Anthony does with 1 foot.
Like, Anthony, Pepe, all these big-name guys that come in with, like, they're only going to play on 1 leg. Can't get it done.
The scouting report would be all over that, but still, he still gets it done.
Exactly. Makes it work. That's a really underrated characteristic. Being predictable and still making it work.
Making it work, yeah.
And we've seen so many players that can't do it, but he makes it work.
He can duck inside a little bit.
Yeah.
Go back on the outside.
But he'll get to the byline.
He'll find the right ball. Yeah. And he makes numbers appear out of thin air, I feel like. You don't think he's going to do anything, but bang, there it is, assist goal.
Maybe assisting Solly March is my guy, Danny Welbeck.
There it is. Segue perfectly.
So the reason why he can, work with 1 leg is because that guy Wells,
bang,
he's just drawing both the centre backs, right? Hold up machine.
The goat.
And he was one of them that, like, there's probably a reason he was playing at United and Arsenal, right? Is that, like, despite not being super, like, aesthetic and scoring bangers, he finds a way to get involved.
Yeah, well said. Like, get involved.
He finds a way to get involved, and his hold-up play is really good. His build-up play is really, really good. Maybe he hasn't had the goals in the last few years, and maybe that was always what let him down in his whole career. Like, he just couldn't score enough goals, and maybe why he's so underrated. But I think in a team like Brighton, where ideally you have a bit more output around you, because that's usually what they had. Yeah, they had the guys like Solly March and Matoma who scores, and McAllister or someone in the 10 who's going to score goals, right? He hasn't always needed to score goals because they're so good creatively, and they're such a build-up play team. So many players get involved, right?
Yeah.
And, like, there's a reason he still plays with João Pedro and Evan Ferguson. 100 mil Evan Ferguson. They go and sign João Pedro.
Yeah.
And he still plays.
He still starts.
I think he started their last game. Yeah. And he's getting on, but, like, he just still gets a look in, still gets a contract extension. And I think for me, he's one of them. His whole career has just been underrated, right? Like, what he does on the pitch is underrated. And his whole career playing at United, playing at Arsenal. And when it felt like his career was probably, like, in the balance, went to Brighton and has been able to sort of borderline cement himself as a starting player in that team. Yeah. So I just think Danny Welbeck, that guy has always been a little bit bantered, but underrated baller.
Injuries done him in as well.
Can do it all. Yeah, and injuries it's the same as your guy, Callum Wilson. Yeah. Injuries for a lot of these guys have capped
what they could have done.
Yeah, maybe reaching those heights.
Yeah. Because Danny Welbeck, I think I get this right, either the year that Fergie retired or the year before that, he was so important. Because
cooking.
Because, like, we were in so many cup competitions. So, like, he was, like, playing Champions League games and stuff like that. And alongside Rooney, he just, in a big team, he'd never be the number 1. Yeah. I think that's why he sort of works at Brighton with he has that link with Pedro and had that link with Ferguson. He's a perfect number 2.
He can play really well on a 2.
He's almost in the wrong era. When he was at his best, when he had the 4
he would have been elite in, like, that, in those early Fergie teams with, like, Ashley Cole up top next to, like, bloody whoever the hell he was.
And that's why I can, like, the Van Persie and Rooney thing, when he would play with alongside them, you'd see how good he'd be because, like, he's just perfect in a 2. And obviously Brighton somehow sort of manifests
he draws
the 2.
a centre-back.
Yeah.
Like,
he's smart.
Yeah.
He makes the right runs. That's what they always say. The commentators always get it right. He makes runs where they think, he's drawing the defender there. You have to go with it.
It doesn't matter if, you don't have the sort of clinical nature of, like, Ronaldo or Messi.
You have to
the defender, because you're getting in such a good spot, the defender has to follow you.
It's just underrated. And that's why, also leading on to mine, I have Callum Wilson as well. Injuries a little bit as well.
Very similar. Very IQ-based player.
They're smart. And the thing about, separates them maybe why Wilson's not much of an underrated baller, his goals per 90. I think the stat
exactly.
keeps coming up this year. The stat.
What they provide to teams is different.
Yeah.
Wilson is just purely, he just finds goals.
His IQ is to know where to be.
Yeah.
Wilson, Welbeck works with the teammates around him. And this guy just benefits from it.
And credit to Wilson, it shows that when he is fit, he actually starts games.
He does.
Like, it's not like Isak starts every game. Eddie Howe rotates him.
We said this a few weeks back, like how Isak probably should be high on these lists. That's how good Isak is. And the fact that we still put Wilson quite close to him or sometimes on an equal level to him, or they push Isak to the left to fit Wilson down the middle. That says a lot about
exactly. I was going to say, I think getting them both in the same team it highlights
less levels.
what a fit Callum Wilson is really worth. And I think that kind of epitomises what you're saying.
The Bournemouth stuff early on as well. He was important keeping them up.
Yeah, buddy, Bournemouth
Days.
Eddie Howe loves him, eh?
Oh, prime Bournemouth ball, eh? Never be topped. But yeah, that's our teams.
My last one.
Oh,
who's your last one?
I had March, Trossard,
Okay, I didn't touch on Jordan Ayew.
Yeah, did what? You go on Ayew. You go. Have a moment in the sun.
So I swear this guy's okay. We're talking about we think it's his brother who's at Swansea.
I'm sure it's Andre. Yeah, Andre was at Swansea.
Jordan's at Palace.
Yeah.
It's Jordan. Oh, anyway, the Ayew who's at Palace, Jordan Ayew. Right? Has played. I swear he's been there now for so long. Right.
I'm gonna check his transfer market stuff, but yeah.
And whatever manager's there, he always plays.
So true.
Like, he played under Roy, played under Vincent. Played under Roy, played under Patrick Vieira. Wherever the hell was before Vieira, I think it was Roy again. Like, he always, he's always part what?
Who was at Swansea?
Jordan.
Maybe they both were teamed up.
Oh my God.
Andre Ayew.
How long has he been at Palace? Can you find that out?
Since 18-19.
He's been there for going into his fifth year.
Andre Ayew. I'm sure Andre was at. Gee, this is where we live to the name. That's where the name comes from. Yeah, Andre was there as well. So they're both there at the same time. That's why. So Jordan is. You're right. You're right. He was at Swansea for a little bit though. So you're right in presuming that. Continue your monologue. Continue. Just making sure.
Need a fact check.
Yeah, that's all.
Because what I think Jordan Ayew does is that his output is. I know his output's not great. Like in terms, I feel like they always mention it, bloody on the commentary and stuff. But there's also a reason why he always plays.
Yeah.
Like, I think he provides a lot to that team. He has, so he can play in that sort of centre forward, or he can play on the left wing.
Yeah.
And I think he offers if he's going to play striker, he offers a very different sort of makeup than Mateta or Edouard, obviously who are the big boys. And I just think he's been around for a little while now, but always gets a look in. It's just a bit of a threat. I think not as underrated or as same ceiling as these other players I mentioned, but I thought Jordan Ayew deserves a bit of respect.
I liked it.
Yeah, in terms of when you have Eze, they've had Zaha, they've had Eze, they got Eze, they got buddy
Elise there as well.
These players these more flair players who have more moments, right? But I think we forget a lot. Zaha was a super moments guy, man. If Zaha wasn't putting the ball in the net, he wasn't doing a lot.
No.
It didn't feel like he was doing much. He could get clamped pretty quick. Whereas Ayew, a bit of a workhorse.
Shift.
Much more of a workhorse. And he allows those players in that sort of front dynamic to shine a bit more by being there. So I think that's the reason why he's always in that team.
Yeah.
So once again, the consistency he has.
He does what he needs to do.
Yeah, right? Allows the players around him to have their moments, right? And that's why I think he deserves a bit more credit.
Yeah, like Palace have been a result team. Yeah. Get a 0-0 at Old Trafford or get a 1-1 somewhere. Why does that happen? It's because Jordan Ayew is basically a fullback because he basically does everything and he's just up and down. And you're right, when he's up front, he can score the odd goal as well. Yeah. But the Apple thing, it feels a bit harsh when you're at Crystal Palace. So we talked about how mid they're just being consistently. You can only score so many goals a season if you like that.
Literally, we've seen with their strikers, no one's had any scoring
goals. No one can score goals at that club, yeah. So let's quickly run over our team one more time. So I went Kamitsky, Mitchell, Tyreek Mitchell, Dawson, Ethan Pinnock, and Alfie Dowdy, with Ryan Yates, Kamara, and Gross in midfield, then Trossard, Wilson, and March.
So, good, very underrated team. I've gone Neto, Robinson, Pau Torres, Gabriel, Dowdy as well, Pascal, John McGinn, Bernardo Silva, Trossard, Welbeck, and Ayew.
Your team's slapping mine.
Man.
Your team's slapping mine 5-0 looks like.
My team slaps yours, but whose is more underrated?
I told you. We started with off. It's a subjective look. It's a subjective look. Now we've got another combined 11 to come up, but quickly before we jump into that and to wrap it all up, FA Cup on the weekend. I know we've been away
since we've been knocked out. I just don't even watch it, mate.
You don't watch
it's
it?
so bad. No, I follow the results.
I've kept an eye on some of the games. Obviously, when
I'm bad with it, eh?
We won. That's all that matters. We struggled 4-2 to Newport. That's embarrassing, man. Just conceded 2 goals to Newport County is a disgrace.
Cobby, mate.
Cobby Money in the goals, though. My guy, Cobby.
First, right?
First goal for the club. Yeah. I'm already seeing the Ballon d'Or edits on TikTok already. The start of something special. Bournemouth slapped up Swansea 5-0. Chelsea had a 0-0 with Villa, which is actually quite an interesting game, that one there. So we're going to have a replay there. The big one was City beating the curse and beating Tottenham 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So finally, they get that done. And then the big news, obviously, was Maidstone United 2-1
I did see this.
over Ipswich.
Yeah, I saw this. What are these? They're like 90.
They're a lot of steps down.
I don't know. Very far down.
A lot of steps.
Yeah, a lot of steps.
A lot of steps
We're
down.
going deep now.
Yeah, we're going.
Are they like Wrexham levels?
So Wrexham are League 2. They're still non-league Maidstone. They're still not in the professional league system. And they've gone to Ipswich.
Were they in Wrexham's league last year?
They were with Wrexham last year. Yeah.
So I think I saw that they were the 98th ranked team in England.
Yeah.
That would make sense if they're 5 leagues down.
All the way down.
20 teams. They're like, what, one of the bad teams in the 5th league? Jesus Christ.
And they've gone and beaten Ipswich.
Maidstone, mate.
They're going to be like,
that's hilarious.
It's embarrassing for especially after last week I was saying maybe get McKenna into
Ipswich?
a job.
How have they been going?
They're second in championship.
I thought they were
I mentioned McKenna's name last week as a manager. They could go and take Palace or something like that.
Yeah.
But after this week, they drew midweek. They drew earlier in the championship.
Been a week to forget, eh?
And they lost to Maidstone. So, poor take from my behalf of last week.
That's nuts.
What
are they into? So what is it now? The quarters?
16. So we're not quite there near Wembley yet. It's still around a 16.
Oh, I thought they're going into the quarters now.
No, it's not quite there. But they've got a better draw though. They got who do they get? And they get the winner of Coventry versus Sheffield Wednesday.
Oh,
so it's
nice.
not like they get a big boy.
Well, regardless, there's gonna be like a smaller team amongst.
Yeah,
which is always nice.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Are they like the last couple left?
Well, yeah, because Newport's been knocked out by us.
Yeah,
unless Wrexham beat Blackburn.
Okay, so because
unless Wrexham hang around.
When are these next fixtures? Over the next few nights.
Well, that game's tonight.
Yeah.
And then the replays are lad next week.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we'll know exactly who they're playing.
Right, the Reynolds, man.
Pick up the Reynolds. Big up the...
Oh, Wrexham are cooking, lad.
Wrexham are doing all right in all the leagues. What else happened? There was a fight between Wolves and West Brom.
I did see that. Match suspended, eh?
Yeah, crazy.
So what happened with that? Did they keep going?
I think they finished up. Because pretty sure it was full-time. Yeah, full-time 2-0.
Okay.
Cunha 78th minute to finish it all off. Okay. Newcastle beat Fulham. Rubbish week for Fulham. And then Luton beat Everton. So Luton...
Fulham is so yo-yo. It's insane.
I couldn't read their team.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah. And then, obviously Luton beat Everton 2-1. Big for Luton, because I think the first time they made it to the round of 16 ever. I think something like that. It was a bad day for Everton, basically.
Everton have fallen off a bit, eh?
Yeah. They'll be fine, but...
That's also concerning. They're, losing to Luton. But
they've lost Luton twice now at home.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I keep talking about this bloody psychological thing. If they just imagine how many points they're on, they're fine.
The 10th, yeah.
But now, to drop 2 games at home to the team behind you,
it's worrying.
It's a bit shaky.
Rob Edwards cooking up some there, maybe.
Yeah, your guy Rob.
Man like Rob. And then obviously the Carabao Cup happened midweek. So basically, when the episode went up last week, it basically happened that night. Yeah. Chelsea battered Middlesbrough 6-1. I didn't expect that to happen. They bossed them off the park. So they're through versus Liverpool, who was very entertaining. Actually, for some reason, I wanted to watch it. So I got up and watched it. Very interesting 1-1 draw. But Liverpool go through a 2-1 on aggregate. But now steps another Chelsea-Liverpool final. Another 0-0 penalty shootout in store for us.
Klopp's starts signing out, eh?
Yeah, the first chance to see it off. Be interesting. I think Liverpool, though, we expect.
Sorry, not to go on to Klopp really quick.
Yeah.
But if they come second and their only trophy they win is Carabao Cup, how disappointed would Liverpool fans be from this point onwards?
From this point I think a lot because of how good they've been playing. But if you came to start the season where everyone had them third and maybe Europa League.
But if you told them the start of the season, you're gonna come second, win Carabao Cup, and you won't have Klopp anymore.
Oh, that'd be the biggest.
I think
the biggest L of all time.
That would suck.
You talk about how Liverpool fans basically crying the death of a family member.
So
It's ridiculous.
Not to get back on the Klopp, but I just thought curious little.
It is
hypothetical.
It's a massive half. Well, even this, they don't win this because Poch, 6-1 of Middlesbrough. I know Middlesbrough,
You're not wrong, eh? And this is the thing about Chelsea.
You don't know
they
what
have the players.
We keep saying this,
but like
they're a top 4 team.
We keep expecting them to just like click one day, and
maybe this is.
We've seen that they've done it on
City.
They did it against
Arsenal.
us. They battered us for 80 minutes. Like Chelsea can perform. It's just whether they do on the day. Like
who turns up,
and that's why they are a scary prospect. So look,
we've seen
this is a good. The season's coming together, man. It's a good season.
We've done. Now we've got cups and Premier League intertwining, which is what we want.
It's fine. We're kind of on the back end of it. There's no more international breaks, surely.
And there's one more. I think there is one more. Because teams still have to qualify for Euros still. So there'll be international friendlies.
Euros qualification isn't done?
There's like playoffs to be played.
Okay.
So for the minnow nations, but that means then international break will have to happen, right? So you should have probably
San Marino, mate.
Versus Luxembourg for the.
I love the San Marino. Oh my god, so good.
That's hilarious. But yeah. So what do you think? I know it's a long. By the way, I hate that as well. The Carabao Cup final is a whole month away from now. Way to dead the momentum.
Yeah, I mean that is ridiculous. I think it'd be a bit better for the trophy if they were like, if it was more of like a sole event, as in, like let everything else unpan at the end of the season,
and then come back to
make it. Well, no, I'm saying as in like let it all, have it whilst everything else isn't sort of peaking.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
That's what I'm saying. It's let it be a bit of a highlight as like a kind of a serious trophy.
Yeah, was becoming a.
Whereas like. When it's clouded by, overshadowed by the bloody FA Cup and Europe's finally getting really, really good and the Premier League's getting hot, like it kind of just becomes a bit of a.
If I'm not mistaken, I think at least the day of it is normally there's no football on. I think.
Yeah, no, it's a soul. It's a soul game.
Which at least is something. But yeah, you're right. You probably either speed up the process to have it done before this round of FA Cup ties, so before there's some big shake-ups. Or just maybe save it to
I also think streaming rights are a big issue with that. I think the same is in the UK. Is that like
you don't get the
I don't think
we don't get it. We don't get it here anymore either. We have to bloody pay for it.
I mean, I don't know about the UK in this case, but I know streaming in general.
Yeah,
like they have massive issues in England with watching games down the road.
Yeah,
right?
ridiculous. Yeah,
whereas we pay like $20 a month to get every game.
Game possible. Yeah,
I know the whole streaming scenario is like. Is a big issue around all these different cups and competitions and stuff. Like, if you want to watch Carabao and the FA Cup in Europe and the Prem, you have to have 4 different things. Like 4 different things to watch 4 different comps.
Yeah,
and so it becomes, a bit of a trade-off. I'd rather watch this.
Yeah. And
as a result, these trophies become less and less meaningful. So I think there's ways to make Carabao Cup. Don't call it Carabao Cup anymore.
Yeah, it's called the Football Cup. I don't know, the English
Cup.
I
don't know what it used to be called, but like I forgot what it used to be called. But
wasn't that curling? Like it was the beer.
Yeah, maybe it was curling. It was.
Like, that doesn't make it any better either.
The crappy sponsorship name is just dead.
I just call it the English Cup or something like that. Like the League Cup.
It needs to like have a little bit more,
prestigious
professionalism around it.
Yeah. Anyway, but your thoughts on the final? Do you reckon it's gonna be close, or do you reckon Liverpool?
I think it'll definitely be close.
Close, yeah.
I think with how bad it's been for Chelsea in the last 18 months,
they need it.
Oh my god! Being in this position is like a bloody miracle.
Yeah.
And it's a massive tick for Chelsea if they win. It's 100%
for Poch as well.
Oh my god! If Chelsea beat Klopp in his bloody,
send off,
in his bloody like farewell months.
His goodbye.
Semi-annual, half-annual bloody farewell.
the farewell tour.
Literally the farewell tour.
This is the start of the farewell tour.
Then massive tick for Poch. The Chelsea project gets fans get a bit of a rejuvenation. It'll suddenly mean a bit more than like the past Carabao Cups with City win every year. It'll actually have a bit of meaning to it. So I think it'll be close, and I think it actually has a little bit of merit, this one.
Yeah, for both teams really want it. That brings us also to finish off. We've got another combined 11. West Ham, Bournemouth.
I think our teams are going to be identical for this.
Unfortunately. But that's why we finished it with it, because we're going to be quite quick. We've already done the Villa-Newcastle game a week too early, because I thought it was last week, the game. So that's why we did that ages ago.
Oh God, we did do that.
We did that ages ago.
That's right.
So we've got now. So I thought, why not?
You didn't want to do Arsenal-Liverpool.
I just think we've done so many of the big.
Yeah.
I thought about
Actually, I think we did it for the last one.
We might have.
We definitely did.
We know heaps of combines.
About Saka and Salah. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, we've done
there
heads.
was.
Yeah, so yeah, see, we're forgetting.
Nah,
We've got so many combines.
Rogue too, anyway.
But yeah, while we can't even many ranking lists for the time, and we'll just do some combined 11s. West Ham, Bournemouth. We went 4-4-3, right? 4-3-3, right? Normal. I'll just go through my team, then you can go through yours. We can see. So I went Areola.
Ooh.
Oh, you can go Areola.
You went
yeah. I went Emerson, Zabani from Bournemouth. I struggled against Bournemouth, but even though I love Bournemouth, it's very hard. Went Zuma, the cat kicker at the back, with Aaron's at right back. I went Lewis Cook and Alvarez as a combination in midfield, with Kudus ahead of them, and then Paquetá on the left, Dominic Solanke at the middle, and then Bowen where he should be.
We've got a reasonably different team.
You have gone quite different.
Well, not quite, but there's a couple of players different. So I've gone.
I'm guessing all my Bournemouth
Neto instead. Clear.
I think, yeah.
Nah,
I think you could debate that one because Ariel's had a good last 6 months.
It's actually like up for debate.
But last year though, it would have been a slam dunk Neto.
Emerson as well.
Yeah.
And then same centre back pairing.
Zabani and Zuma.
Yep. Oh, so foul.
Yeah, I get that though.
I think Max Aaron's is FIFA tax.
He's a little bit.
I think he's high pace, young FIFA tax. Like,
that's probably
so foul underrated. He could have been in my underrated team. He's a baller.
I have it in there. I have it in there.
I mean, look.
No, that's fair because Sufal is a bit of
Vlad,
he's established now. It's like 4 years right back. Every game.
I think Vlad's decent.
I'll cop that L.
I've struggled with Bournemouth players here. I've gone Ward, Prowse, Edson, and Kudus.
You can't be playing with that. To be honest. I can't get angry at that.
I would have actually been way more tempted 6 months ago to go Billing. I think Billing is so good. But then I was looking, he hasn't even been playing.
It doesn't fit Ariola's way.
Gets subbed on, you know. So that made it reasonably easy for me. And then, we'll see in a few months anyway. Phillips will probably start this weekend, right? I wouldn't be surprised.
Does he? After all we said, would you go in?
But you don't go on loan if you're Calvin Phillips.
You're
fighting for a Euros thing, right? Like
for him, he thinks he's going to play. But if you're David Moyes, you're going to change the whole complexion of your midfield.
He would have had to have been sold a start. Surely.
This is maybe this is me rating Bournemouth too highly, but Bournemouth has just battered Swansea 5-0, and in my mind, one of the top. I think they play top half football.
Yeah.
Are you going to go and change your midfield? I know Phillips in the same sort of mould as some of the players, but you're going to change that set midfield three. Played all year.
I see what you're saying for sure.
If you're Moyes, would you do that? I just don't think. Maybe not this game.
I probably wouldn't. No. I probably wouldn't. But I'm just saying, as in if
you're Phillips,
the circumstances. If you're Calvin Phillips, you don't leave to West Ham unless you're guaranteed to play. At least until you don't earn your spot, right? You don't even have to earn it. If I'm Calvin Phillips,
and you have to do your work.
I'm still a bloody City treble winner, like it or not, right? Like it or not, I just won the treble, and I was a baller 18 months ago, right? Yeah. I know he's done nothing since, literally nothing.
He's been called fat, lazy, and that's it.
He's done nothing since.
Yeah,
but I'm not going there. That's not absolutely sold to start the game. So
I get that bit.
It's interesting because in a couple of weeks, Calvin Phillips could be in both our combined 11s.
He could do like a Jesse Lingard and just hit the ground running.
Because all he has to do is prove that he's still the same guy. He doesn't have to prove actually that much because of how good he was before. Right?
He was in team of the season.
Yeah, he just needs to be good.
Yeah,
and then say, okay, you still got it.
Yeah,
right.
This guy's still good. This guy's a good guy. I think it's a lot of risk for this game though.
Yeah, it's a weird one. And then obviously
the front three.
My front three was Paquetá, Solanke, Bowen.
Yeah.
That kind of speaks for itself a little bit.
I don't think we have to talk about that. Those guys have been killing it. So we had different goalkeepers, different right backs, and different central midfielders. So quite similar.
No. I mean, look, there's
the right back. I think I've had a mare. So arguably, it's probably the goalkeeper and the central midfielder. And I think you probably
a lot of players pick themselves in that team. Like obviously Bowen, Solanke.
Well, the front threes. Yeah. Actually, the front four because Kudus, you almost play him as a centre forward the way he plays.
It's really only Emerson on the left as left back.
Yeah. They're consistent performers.
It's actually a decent midfield across the board. Like the players you got to pick from there are good midfielders,
Who manages and where do they finish, you reckon? I like doing this now. I like this whole... Because obviously you're gonna go Moyes because you like Moyes.
I think I just go Moyes from the way I've set my team up with Super at the back.
Yeah.
Exact same midfield.
True.
If anything, Solanke just really enhances that team.
It's just better version
it's genuinely just like a goalkeeper take it or leave it. Because it's a Moyes
your team is West Ham's team with a different striker.
Different striker, different goalkeeper.
That's it.
And a different centre back. which actually
Zabani.
which elevates him a lot because
Mavropanos
I think
stinks.
he's stinky.
Yeah.
And then so it's just a better West Ham team. And West Ham are good, but we feel like they're lacking a striker so often.
Yeah.
And
true.
Solanke makes that team so much better. How much didn't we say this the other day with Tots? How much better would Solanke make West Ham?
Yeah, because one of us said to sign.
Someone might have said one of us said to sign Solanke at West Ham.
I think I might have said it.
Well, regardless,
Or one of us said it.
How much better does it make him, right?
Well, because he's mobile, he holds a play up, and he can get in behind.
Boy. He suits West Ham to a T.
Yeah.
Like
you can dump it into him, or he can spin the back line and go in behind.
like he has the whole package for West Ham.
Yeah.
Big boy, hold up play, and he can finish, right?
Oh, he's lethal for a goal. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think.
So you're going Moyes and where to finish?
I'm gonna go Moyes, and I think they finished top 7.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like top. Okay, yeah, cool.
No, I think top 7
I like that
because I think the way I look at it is, West Ham are either it feels like they're either so good or so bad, and when they're so bad,
in between.
It feels like when they're so bad, it's like they're just missing a few pieces to really connect it, right?
Yeah, no
and
goals.
I feel like Solanke fixes that West Ham team more than any player than any player will sort of fix most teams.
Yeah,
His impact feels like it'd be so
that gap.
the gap between no Solanke and Solanke feels like it's so big, and the impact would be so big that I think you go from borderline getting the exact same points they're getting right now to getting 10 to 15 more with him. They probably finish top 6 lock.
Yeah,
for me.
Fair.
If that West Ham team can continue performing the way they're performing now.
Yeah.
Right. What about you?
Yeah. Well, I'll go the other reason because of Solanke. I'll go Iriola. I'll be worried about our defense because we're going to have to play a bit more of a progressive style, right? But I back Emerson and I back Aarons to cover that. But when you've got Alvarez, Cook, Kudus, Piketty, Solanke, and Bowen, I want to try and create heaps more, be on the front foot a bit more. And that's the thing, I could finish as low as 12th. I could finish as high as 6th. That's the thing
so
with
your
my style.
upside's probably a bit higher.
But it could go
I would say your
backwards.
upside's higher. I would say okay, it's harder to say higher than 6 just because that's where
That's
the
the
team.
big boys
But
go.
but how good they could be. West Ham, your team could be a lot better than mine.
Yes.
But I feel like my team is less downside.
Yeah,
right?
and you'll be safe in 6th to 8th, whereas I could be hypothetically, if things work out 5th to 12th. Because with this Zuma and Zabani backline, are they going to be good enough in a pairing or quick enough?
Taking more risk, mate.
I'm a front-footed sort of guy. But with Solanke, you want to feed him the ball, right? You want to give him as many chances as possible. And that's why I feel like he can obviously do a job with little chances. We've seen him be able to do that.
He'd be an overqualified player in this team.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
If Solanke had been in this West Ham team right now, I'd be saying, he's going to go to a big club.
He would never expect Moyes to be a bit more progressive, I think.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But he'd be way too good, but he'd be perfect. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He'd just fit there quite nicely.
He'd slot in so well.
So, maybe that happens. Maybe it happens next season.
Nah. Solanke goes to one of the... I mean, I don't know who needs a striker.
Because none of the big boys need a striker.
I wouldn't have been surprised if you guys had signed him in the summer.
That's United something, yeah.
Imagine we go after him. Don't mind that.
That'd be a cool little link
How
up there.
old is
Saka
Dom?
and Solanke.
He's been around for a little while now, eh?
25?
Dominic.
What a way to...
Is he just not the level yet
Don't think he's...
that it looks like we're going for?
Yeah, I don't think not quite that. Especially when there's other guys...
27 this year.
27, yeah. So there's definitely the other guys around the joint.
Yeah.
He'll be a great
is he
backup,
that much better than a Jesus?
No, but I think
On
he elevates...
form he is.
I think he elevates what you guys need, though, more.
I agree. I think he fits that
finisher.
team far better.
Spinning behind.
Yeah, big boy and can finish. That is what we need.
You've been looking for that for how long now?
Oh my God.
Last
So
18
long.
months, realistically, to kick over the line. That'd be interesting. Maybe not as the signing, maybe as... But he doesn't want to be a backup, realistically, does he? But maybe if you can try and promise him maybe 40% start, 30% start, maybe.
Interesting.
A lot of hypotheticals. That's what happens when there's no Prem in a weekend of football.
No, they're good.
But we will be back next week.
No, winners or losers?
No, I think... If you don't,
on top of the head?
Okay. You can get one out. I feel like it'll be a quite similar
Losers,
thing.
Liverpool fans?
I've got Spurs. They can't win a trophy and they've lost their incredible Warra trophy versus Man City. Warra home form versus Man City. That's my
Warra
losers.
August is gone.
Yeah.
Warra City
record.
done.
Warra trophy.
Warra City at home record.
Yeah. It's not there anymore.
That's a good one.
It's funny because on the weekend it was all the Ange memes about they can't just say mate and get trophies anymore because they're out of the FA Cup as well.
That's funny.
I'll
I'll go Liverpool I'll go Klopp family.
Yeah. Klopp family.
I'll go the Cop.
Yeah, the Cop end. Yeah,
Cop end.
Yeah.
Or Klopp.
And obviously the winners are Maidstone, right? You can't not have Maidstone.
Yeah. We'll go. Yeah, that's a good one. Winners are Maidstone, and non-league.
Yeah, big up Wrexham and all them.
The non-professionals, basically what we are, mate.
The casuals. Yeah, that's why we're here for Mondays. That's what we're here for. The non-league stuff.
No, we made something out of that though. We made something out of that.
Absolutely.
I like that. The middle segment was elite. What was that again? The underrated. That was good.
There's more to come.
Because it was, we had different teams,
and we can't possibly be angry at anything because.
And we had good cases. Right?
Yeah, the Bernardo Silva monologue.
It was all about player appraisal.
Absolutely.
What are we doing next time? We're doing players who are overrated.
We'll just slander players. We'll just rip into players.
Cook on that one as well.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, the Bernardo Silva monologue will go up. Definitely as a video. That's one of the greatest monologues we've had.
That was
crazy.
That's dick riding 101. I want him to transfer me.
That's dick riding 101, baby.
That was insane. It was insane.
It was nuts. Thanks for coming on, man. Another week done.
All goods.
Thanks for the support last week. Our Monday was popping last week, so let's go for 200 this week.
And his Wednesday,
the midweek one
as well.
Yeah, so obviously
is popping, mate.
We're in the right direction. We'll see you at the World Cup. FIFA, give us a.
I know, literally, lock us in the contract now.
Yeah, that's what we're here for. If we don't get it,
I'll take like a massive cut now.
Yeah,
if you just like lock me in.
Yeah, just give me.
Because I'll bring in the bags in 2026.
We go crazy. Give us a quarter final. Give us a semi. We're not asking for quarters and semis. That's what we're asking for. That's what we're asking like that. Yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Tune in on Wednesday or Thursday for that video with me and Nathan. Big week in terms of European football. Are you going to
watch along? I won't be able
to. Check the space. Maybe I'll watch along. Watch your space because maybe there's a lot going on. Life's become real again.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff happening again. Right. So we're over the honeymoon of Christmas. So you never know. Maybe there's a watch along. Keep an eye on the channel. Anyway, guys, have a good one. We'll see you next week with 20 games to cover. So we're gonna have a lot of games to go through. See you then.